We haven't talked about Joe Rogan in a while, but I felt like this may be a good opportunity to hop back and look at some stuff. There's a clip floating around of Joe Rogan talking to one of his guests about his opinions on Joe Biden and then being fact-checked live on air. This is actually my first time watching it. So let's just hit it and see what happens.
Well, you know, there's people that voted for Biden that are doing it now. They're like, what did I do?
Right.
Like, what did I choose? Like, how is this guy?
Yeah, you just can't listen to an interview where he's saying some of the stuff he says that just makes no sense at all. It's like you can't listen to those interviews and feel like you made a good decision. I don't know how you could.
Did you hear what he said like yesterday or a couple of days ago? He was talking about the Revolutionary War. He's like, one of the reasons why we lost the Revolutionary War, one of the problems with the Revolutionary War was they didn't have enough airports. Yeah. Have you seen that?
I saw that. It's like, what?
Like, pull him.
No, actually, I haven't seen that.
It's crazy.
If you had any other job and you were talking like that,
yeah,
they would go, "Hey, you're done."
If you talk like that to a doctor at your medical exam to fight, they'd be like, "Okay, like obviously you're not fighting." You also here's 8 weeks of being helped out by a professional, like
right. You might not ever do anything again.
No, it's one of the wildest things ever.
It's insane.
Yeah,
and the media gaslighting you to protect. It's just people are so afraid of Trump being in office and Republicans being in office.
Everybody's so scared of Trump being in office, Republicans being in office, that you can't even talk about how Joe Biden has completely lost it. He's crazy. He wouldn't be able to hold down any job whatsoever. He's a fool. He should, honestly, he's close to being like, if there's like an ethical euthanasia patient, maybe Joe Biden is the one. Like these guys are going hard on Biden for saying this, but apparently they were just wrong.
Moments later,
hanging out with the guy, I'm like, man.
Well, it's just the media narrative. I mean, so many people were fed this lie that the Russia collusion.
Yeah.
Was
this the video you're talking about?
Let me see what this one says. I don't think it is.
What? By the way, the same stable genius that said the biggest problem we had in the Revolutionary War is we didn't have enough airports. Whoa.
Yeah, that's it.
Whoa.
Right,
what?
Just for the record.
Is that fake?
It's not fake, but he was referencing Trump saying that. Here's what Trump saying it in 2019. Donald Trump said something about that. He didn't say...
Suffered a bitter winter of Valley Forge, found glory across the waters of the Delaware, and seized victory from Cornwallis of Yorktown. Our army manned the airport. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he fucked up.
Yeah, he did. But I feel like that's you can tell too. It sounds like a little different. He's like, you can tell he like messed up his words, but yeah. He's just, I don't know.
Took over the airports.
Well, that's the thing about media these days. It's like,
right.
You gotta look into
people
it
so much. Bro, like people are asking themselves, what have I done? I've destroyed the country voting for Biden. Who could have seen this happening? He can't hold a job anywhere. He actually doesn't even have any, he may not even be human. Joe Biden's mental state may be so low functioning, he's barely classified as a human being anymore. Oh wait, Donald Trump said that? He does like an oopsie whoopsie. Who can you guys, the media these days, they'll try to make you believe anything. Bro, you're the media. Bro, I think he gets more viewers than Fox News and MSNBC and CNN combined. You are the media. A lot of people are going to try to handwave this as like about the fact that he's not a reporter or something. For one, this only makes this worse because people who get stuff wrong like that, who are reporters, they lose their jobs for that. If a reporter was as wrong as Joe Rogan was with the same platform, not only would he lose his job, but he'd also probably be fined by the FEC or something. Like he would never work in journalism ever again. And nobody would ever listen to him ever again. If they were even like a quarter wrong, maybe even like a tenth of wrong as Joe Rogan is. I don't hate Joe Rogan. I don't have many thoughts on Joe Rogan, but he's like, thinks of himself as just a guy with a camera when he's way bigger than a lot of the news organizations that he goes that he goes up against. For a lot of people, he is their news. And a lot of people go like, nobody goes to Joe Rogan and just like thinks of him as news. Well, maybe not. You don't go, well, this is news. But what you do go is like, this is a cool guy who's relatively trustworthy. And when he says something, it holds weight. Like, let's just be honest with ourselves. When Joe Rogan says something, it holds weight. There are a bunch of like dudes out there, because not a lot of women watch Joe Rogan, right? There are a lot of dudes out there who will just be like, oh yeah, like it's like listening to their friend saying something that they're just going to believe it, or at least mostly believe it, or think that it's at least mostly true, especially if they're already predisposed to wanting to believe something like that. Yeah, he's like a pop, at the end of the day, he's like a pop journalist. He's like he's not really much different than people like Ben Shapiro or these other type of people, not necessarily because of his politics, but because of the way in which he interacts with the world. He's just people listen to him more than they listen to those media outlets that he doesn't like. And the fact that he never said like, oh man, I really messed up. He went from Joe Biden might not be a functional human being to, oh well, he just made an oopsie whoops. Like, this is just crazy. Once again, I don't dislike Rogan, but this is massive partisan hack behavior. Like, I remember going through his subreddit and people being like, bro literally just changes his entire mindset depending on who he's talking to in that moment. Whoever he has on his podcast, he's like a political chameleon. He'll just say one thing or another depending on who he's talking to at that moment. It's just weird. It's kind of crazy. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. It's hard for me to necessarily hate Rogan because I don't even know what he believes. I don't even know if he believes anything. I genuinely just don't. I don't know what he actually believes, but I do know that his followers believe him and love him and think that he's trustworthy enough for them to listen to. And when he was proven wrong, instead of going like, oh man, I really messed that up, man, maybe I should really think about how hard I go on some of this stuff, because I felt really strongly about Joe Biden being like subhuman, but then Donald Trump is just like he's just a cute baby who misspeaks every now and again. Either my parents watch him. Yeah, a lot of people watch him, and they genuinely like take his opinions to be good enough to be able to run with, at least somewhat. And then the second he found out it was Trump, instantly making excuses. That's crazy. Ivermectin probably ravaged his brain. Probably. That'd be really funny. I can't lie. That would be like really funny. Donald Trump. Yeah. I don't know. Especially like a lot of people are going to say that, oh, people don't watch him like that, but the proof that I have, like one of the biggest proofs that I have that people do actually view him like that is super interesting. Actually, remember when he was fighting with that doctor? Like there was like a genealogist, like a vaccine doctor, like a contagious disease epidemiologist that he was having a back and forth with, and he was like, yo, come debate me on my podcast with a bunch of other like weirdo no-name comedians, or else you're a fraud and you don't actually care about science or anything, because I only respect people who come onto my podcast to talk with me. It was just so weird. Podcaster versus epidemiologist. And I'm not against debate, but the idea that that'd be necessarily a worthwhile debate is just from the doctor's perspective, is just simply silly, right? Or to think that he has way less credence than somebody else that just comes on, somebody who's been completely discredited in the medical world. Like if you want to know if he's wrong, there's already been a debate on it. It's called peer reviewing paper. You could just read the paper. He's already talked about it. At the end of the day, the guy who's been rejected by the like medical world and who comes onto a podcast to talk about it is like a public speaker. He's not a scientist. He's not a doctor. He's a public speaker. He's like a YouTuber. He's a guy who specializes in talking to people. A doctor specializes in talking to other doctors, right? So yeah, you could be right, but still not be good when it comes to being able to. So you could be right, but it's still not. Sorry, but you might not be good when it comes to communicating that to people, and then you can come off as wrong just because somebody's able to dance circles around you because you don't do debates like that. And what they mean is just like what they mean is like a back and forth on a podcast, on actual academic debate, which doctors do actually have. And he can watch them if he wants. The only thing is he doesn't because they're boring. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. They're boring. They are pretty boring. They can be. Got to a point where Joe Rogan stan went to Peter Hotez's house to harass him. Yeah, people were going to his house to harass this guy. Like, Joe Rogan has a lot of clout. He has a lot of clout, and people pretending that he doesn't is just ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. This is just complete partisan hackery to the extreme, honestly. And it's actually a little sad. I can't lie to you. To actually believe something like this is just sad. It is just sad. But honestly, it proves the problem with our education system and the media. Like, I don't know, man. You should be critical of the media and everything. But I'm going to be honest with you. Like, actually being like, don't listen to the media. Those journos and those lab coats, you shouldn't listen to them. I've got this YouTuber, shit fart poo poo garbo 337. He has the real news that you should be worrying. He has the real news that you should be worrying about. Okay, that's the guy that you should really be listening to here. Like, come on, let's be honest with ourselves. Like, come on. There's this idea with like who fact checks the media. Well, we do, and the media also fact checks the media. But who fact checks weirdo YouTubers and podcasters who can say whatever they want with impunity? Who fact checks them? The answer, honestly, is nobody. It's doublethink. It is actually like, you know what's so funny is because Joe Rogan is all into the like wokeness has gone too far, this, that, and the third, free speech is under attack, or like George Ornbachel wrote a book 1357 about when the government does too much and it becomes too woke, right? But then he'll actually literally do doublethink. We will do the literal doublethink. He'll do doublespeak and doublethink live on air without even understanding what's going on. It's actually really funny. It's incredibly, it'd be funnier if it wasn't as sad and as dumb as it actually is, and harmful, genuinely. Because people have actually lost their lives from this type of rhetoric, like especially like the vaccine type stuff it's just sick. It's just sick. Yeah, simultaneously accepting two conflicting beliefs at the same time. And then not even like, and being confronted with them and then just back and forth day to day, just switching back and forth without any thought whatsoever about what you're genuinely saying is just, that's crazy. The human brain is such an incredible thing. It's quite a remarkable thing that allows you to do so many things that many people would think would honestly be impossible. I mean, look at this type of stuff. Yup, he's frequently fact checked and admits he's wrong. One of the things that makes the podcast great, bro never admitted that he was wrong. He never admitted that he was wrong once. His assessment and comments did a 180 after he heard it was from Trump. Yeah, and that's like a really big thing. Like the second you hear that it was from Trump, just change instantly. It didn't though. And I say this as somebody who hates Rogan. The other guy plays defense for Trump, but Rogan unambiguously says, oh, he fucked up. Oh, he fucked up. And he's not mentally capable of being president are two incredibly different things. He would have to have like a similar idea of being like, oh, people are just too scared of Joe Biden being president that they're just gonna like believe Donald Trump and think that he's perfectly capable constantly 24/7. But he doesn't say that because he doesn't believe that. He doesn't believe that. He believes in doublethink. Yeah, like from, oh, he made a oopsie whoopsie to this man has the mental capacity of your average like PetSmart gerbil. There's just two incredibly different things. Rogan, hamburgers are good, but I'm trying to eat less pork. Guest, hamburgers are made with beef. Joe Rogan, ham is from pork. It has ham and hamburger. Guest, it's beef. Joe Rogan, that's not what I heard. Jamie, look that up. Jamie, it's beef. Guest, it's beef. Joe Rogan, okay, but can we really trust hamburger makers and butchers and grocery stores when the word ham is in hamburger and ham means pork? Joe Rogan fans, this is why I like him. He's good at thinking. All right, that's funny. That's actually pretty. Jamie, pull up the clip. This is why I like him. He's good at thinking. He's like so good at this thinking thing. Actual facts. The crazy thing, I've seen people say stuff like this before. I've seen it. Yeah, I love this guy. He's good at what he do. He's a good thinker guy, man. He's got a big brain. It's 50D chess. He's playing dimensional chess, honestly. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.